Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Doug Austen. I'm Executive Director of the American Fisheries Society. And you might be thinking, why is Fisheries Society involved in this? Well, fisheries people have been thinking large landscapes and watersheds for many, many decades, actually. So it's a natural fit. And also, I used to work with the Landscape Conservation Cooperative. So there's a nice allegiance here with the work that you are all doing. And it's a pleasure to be a part of this event. Just a few housekeeping things here to get things going, then I'll introduce our opening speaker. A couple things just to keep on your memory sheet for today. We do have another lunch, a wonderful luncheon today that's going to be back in the same hall that we were in before, the Atrium Hall. And our plenary speaker for lunch is John Conger, the Acting Deputy Secretary of Defense for Installations and the Environment. Mr. Conger has a portfolio that includes many, many sites. I think I saw several speakers yesterday talking about partnerships with defense installations, buffer areas, things like that they're working with, and some excellent work to be done with defense installations and the work that they're doing in preserving open space, not necessarily for the open space, but to keep their training facilities intact, but we benefit from that. It's a wonderful partnership. Also, those people who have bags or dragging around your suitcase with you, you can store those in the back of the atrium hall. There's not a defined space back there, but you'll see other suitcases back there. You can put them back there for the time being, and they'll be fairly safe just because there's so many other bags out there. The probability of yours being stolen is very minimal. So keep that in your mind. We do have an evaluation on the website, so we'd really love for you folks to take a moment to hop on the LCC website. It's NWLLC2014.org. You'll find on the program agenda page a link to this evaluation. We would really love to hear what you thought about this, what we can do better. In the instance that this is done again, and I assume that a lot of you folks have had a good time here, but we want to know about that to see if there's an effort to try to do this. And have this sort of event happen multiple times in the future. And just with that, let me give a little bit of background. I mean, a lot of you people have come here and seen this event and thought that this is a unique event that really doesn't have a history to it. And it really, we've sort of grown into this. The LCCs and the land trusts have been meeting in smaller venues and capacities for a number of years. And a couple of years ago, the LCCs met in Denver. That would have been 2012, I think. You guys help me out with this. My memory's a little bit behind on that. We had over 400 people at that event, had to turn people away, which is an interesting foreshadowing of what's going on here. We filled this up. The idea was to have that event happen every other year. And the idea also was that, in that case, it was Fish and Wildlife Service that put that together. We needed to partner with others because that both is a requirement in a sense of putting on an event like this, and it reflects the basis of partnerships for these activities. So the LCCs, the land trusts, a number of groups got together and said, let's make this whole thing happen. And it went through a couple of false starts. We almost had an event in Chicago about a year or so ago and had some problems with contracting and things like that. And this thing almost went away. It almost vaporized. But through a number of people's efforts, Jim Levitt in particular, bulldogging this through, and some really committed partners, this happened here today. So there's somewhat of a miracle in this whole thing getting together, but I think it reflects the commitment of people to the landscape conservation approach and you all to wanting to get together and learn from what others are doing and share the stories and help to build the energy about this. Secretary Jewell's comments yesterday, I think, raised the bar in terms of supporting our work, ensuring that we're moving forward and have the energy and excitement of people at her level to make sure that this keeps moving forward. There's been a number of people who have been heavily involved in putting this event together. I want to at least raise some of them up and have them be thanked for this. In particular, we have a program committee that did a tremendous amount of work, and I'm hoping that a number of those folks are in. I'm going to read the names of them really quick, then just ask them to stand up. We could give them a little bit round of applause. The chair is Greg Wathen. Greg's with the Gulf Coastal Plains and Ozarks LCC. Brenda Barrett, Greg Elliott, Charles Curtin, Larry Fisher, Elsa Hubbald, Jim Herkert, Sean Johnson, Linda Kelly, Karen Murphy, Claire Robinson, John Rogner, Glenn Salmon, Esther Stroh, Ben Thatcher, Gwen White, and Michael Whitfield. If all those folks could stand up, we really deserve a round of applause. when this event was being put together, we had no idea what sort of response we'd get from this, but they actually had to turn away papers. We could have had a much bigger event, and I think this really underscores the interest in this and the energy that's around this landscape approach.